Young Sherlock Holmes came out in 1985. It's directed by Barry Levinson and it was produced by Steven Spielberg. And it is about the sort of musings of what if Sherlock Holmes and Watson met together when they were teenagers at a boarding school. That's the sort of basic premise of the movie. The movie has two cards that just say at the start and at the end that this is completely fictionalised, nothing to do with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's tale of Sherlock Holmes. This is just poetic license almost to create a fantastical beginning of the super sleuth. Set in the late 1800s, when an assortment of people start having inexplicable delusions that lead to their death, a teenage Sherlock Holmes decides to undertake the mystery and try and solve it as best he can. This gives lots of nods towards Sherlock Holmes. If you like the character, if you know the character, there is Moriarty in a form, there is Watson, there is the violin, there is the game as a foot. It shoehorns all these things into the movie, but it never feels as though it's shoehorning them in. It kind of goes hand in hand with the character, and the character is another strong portrayal, a little bit more emotional than a Sherlock Holmes that we've seen before, but it fits because he's young, he's teenage, he's not grown into the mature detective that we're seeing all the other kind of things later on, and it fits this kind of story that's going on. And the mystery is pretty fun, and I don't really want to go too much into the story because I don't want to waste it for you, but the mystery is interesting even if you can tell who the bad person is very quickly. It's easy to kind of tell, but you know why they're doing it is more of a mystery, and that becomes clearer later on in the movie, and it feels genuine to the tale at hand. One of the best things about Young Sherlock Holmes is the early CG, which still holds up fairly well today. It looks kind of odd, but it doesn't look out of place. And taking this was 1985, it's got some fantastic special effects. One of my favourite is particularly when a priest is running down the aisle of his church and the stained glass window knight comes alive, jumps down and starts chasing him through the church. It's a very visual image, but there's other ones as well. There is practical effects with the flying bats and things like that. It really kind of nice and still kind of tangible and really effective today. It's fast paced, it's mysterious and it's fantastical. I like all these elements put together, and I wish that had went on to be a series because I would like to have seen further adventures of this young Holmes because the character is very endearing. And it's probably because of the baggage you take to the movie yourself, because you know most people like Sherlock Holmes, you're already buying into this character, produced by Steven Spielberg, and it's very remnant of a lot of the Amblin produced entertainment that came out in the mid-80s. You can see his kind of fingerprints on it, not as much as most other kind of his productions, but still that's there for you to have. And you know what? It's not a bad thing. I think Young Sherlock Holmes is pretty terrific. Even today, when I knew the story and I knew what was coming, I think the production values are very good. It looks pretty decent. You know, the setting of that late Victorian, early 1900s, late 1800 period time looks great. The costumes are fantastic, but it's filled with this kind of new-paced, energetic direction that the movie has, and its ticks and following Watson and Holmes as they go through the various mysteries. There's a couple in the movie. The main one is the murder one, but there's a couple of other mysteries that go on as well. They're all kind of fun to watch. I gave Young Sherlock Holmes 3.5 out of 5. I think it's pretty fun. It may not be the best Sherlock Holmes story ever, but it's definitely worth your time, and if you haven't seen it before, it's a nice sort of introduction as to where the character got a lot of his tics and machinations, and I kind of like it for that. Plus the special effects are still very good. Have you seen Young Sherlock Holmes? Let me know in the comment box below what you thought of it, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.